1978, two young physics students walked into a Las Vegas casino with a secret hidden in their shoe, wired to their chest, threaded down the inside of their pant leg, taped under their foot was something nobody in that building had ever seen before, a tiny computer. One of the very first wearable computers ever built. And they built it for one reason, to do something everyone on Earth swore was impossible, to beat the casino, not with luck, with physics. And here's the part that should stop you cold. It actually worked. But the way their story ends tells you something far more important than two nerds beat roulette. It reveals the exact hidden machine that every casino on the planet uses to take your money. A machine built out of cold math and your own brain working against you. Because by the end of this, you'll understand why these two geniuses with a computer strapped to their body and a 20% edge still walked away losers. And if they couldn't win, what chance do you really have sitting at that table? Let me show you the whole thing. It's one of the best stories you've never heard. It starts on a college campus in California in the 1970s. Two friends, Doyne Farmer and Norman Packard, are physics students. Brilliant, broke, and a little obsessed. And Doyne has this thought that won't leave him alone. Everyone says roulette is pure random chance, but Doyne looks at that spinning wheel and sees something else entirely. He sees physics, a ball, a wheel, a speed, an angle, and in physics, if you know the inputs, you can predict the output. So he turns to his friend and basically says, what if roulette isn't random at all? What if it's just a physics problem nobody's bothered to solve? And to understand why that idea is so dangerous to a casino, you have to understand the one thing the entire casino is built on. The reason roulette makes money. It's a tiny number, and it's called the house edge. Here's the cleanest way to see it. An American roulette wheel has 38 pockets the ball can land in. You bet on a single number, you win. The casino pays you 35 to 1. But hold on, there are 38 pockets, not 36. A truly fair payout would be 37 to 1. The casino quietly pays you a little less than the real odds. Every spin, forever. That little gap is worth about 5%, and it is the entire reason the building exists. It's not cheating, it's printed right there in the rules. The casino doesn't beat you in one dramatic moment. It just shaves a sliver off every single bet and waits. And that's what Doyne understood. If roulette is physics, then that 5% isn't untouchable. You could, in theory, predict where the ball is going and flip the advantage to your side. So the two friends form a little group. They give it a name, the Eudaimons, and a dream. Beat roulette and use the money to start their own science commune. Yeah, these guys were something else. But dreaming is easy. So here's the problem they had to solve, and it was brutal. To predict the ball, you need to measure two things in real time. How fast the wheel is spinning and how fast the ball is spinning. Then you need to crunch the math and place a bet, all in the 10 or so seconds before the croupier waves the betting closed, in a crowded casino without anyone noticing. In the 1970s, with no laptops, no smartphones, nothing. So they did something insane. They built it themselves. They bought a real casino roulette wheel, shipped it to their dorm, which, by the way, got them briefly interrogated because the FBI couldn't figure out why two students were importing casino gear across state lines. They set up cameras and sensors over the wheel and they spun it thousands of times, mapping its physics until the randomness started to crack and patterns appeared. They couldn't predict the exact number, but they could predict the section of the wheel the ball would fall into, and that was enough. That alone gave them a 20% advantage over the house. Stop and sit with that number because it's the heart of everything. A normal player walks in with the house holding a 5% edge over them. These two flipped it so hard, they had a 20% edge over the house. On paper, they had become the casino. They had broken the unbreakable game. Now they just had to pull it off without getting caught. In an era when Vegas was still run by the mob, and getting caught didn't mean a polite escort to the door. It meant a back room. So they built the computer. One of the first wearable computers in history, hand-coded 3 kilobytes of program, smaller than a single text message today. The wheel speed and ball speed were tapped in with a switch hidden in their shoe by the toe. The machine did the trig and buzzed the answer back against their skin through little pads. One buzz on the body meaning bet here. One person would secretly clock the wheel and feed the computer. The other would casually place the bets, chatting with the dealer, looking like just another clueless tourist. And in 1978, they walked in and did it. The chips started stacking up. The math was real. The impossible thing was happening right there on the floor. And then reality showed up. And this is where their story quietly becomes a lesson about you, because the machine kept breaking, wires came loose. And worst of all, when the player got nervous and started to sweat, the moisture amplified the electric shocks from those little pads. One member of the team got shocked so badly, the device burned a hole through her skin, and she was still standing at the table, placing bets, bleeding. They were constantly bolting to the bathroom to rip the hardware off their bodies. And hanging over all of it was the fear. If a pit boss figures this out, we don't get a warning. We get dragged into a room. So here's how the greatest roulette scheme in history actually ended. After all of it, the years of work, the homemade wheel, the FBI, the wearable computer, the 20% edge, they were too scared and too plagued by broken equipment to ever bet big. They kept the stakes tiny, and across the entire adventure, this group of geniuses who literally beat roulette walked away with about $10,000 total. Never got their science commune. They won the war against the math and still didn't win the money. And that is the most important thing a casino can teach you. Read it carefully. Two of the smartest people in the country with a secret computer and a real proven edge over the house could barely scrape out a profit. So now look down at yourself, sitting at that same table with no computer, no edge, and a 5% disadvantage instead. The truth lands hard. The game was never beatable for you. It was mathematically designed not to be. But the house doesn't stop at math, because the math only works if you keep playing long enough for that little edge to grind you down. So the casino's real job is to keep you in the chair. And that's where it stops being numbers and starts being something close to mind control. You've probably heard there are no clocks and no windows, ever. That's not a coincidence. It's the point. Take away the sunrise, the dark sky, the glance at your watch, and you delete every signal your brain uses to think, okay, that's enough. People sit down at night and stand up stunned that it's morning. The casino didn't speed up time. It erased it, then the sound. Every time anyone wins, anywhere, the machines explode with bells and music and clattering coins. But losing is silent. So your brain marinates in a world where it sounds like everyone is winning constantly, even as your own chips quietly vanish. And then the cruelest trick of all, hiding inside every slot machine, the near miss. You spin and two jackpot symbols slam into place, and the third lands just one slot above the line. So close, your heart jumps. I almost had it, I'm due. But that near miss was deliberately programmed to appear far more often than real chance allows. And here's the disturbing part scientists have proven. When your brain sees that almost win, it releases dopamine and fires the same reward circuits as an actual win. You lost. Your brain celebrated, and that little chemical lie whispers, keep going. You're being trained, one near miss at a time, to stay. The rest of the trap is already inside your head before you even arrive. There's the gambler's fallacy. Red hits 5 times in a row, and everyone's certain black is due. But the wheel has no memory. The odds never change. That feeling of being due is just a glitch in human intuition, and the casino runs on it. And then the big one, loss aversion. Losing money hurts about twice as much as winning feels good. So when you're down, your brain screams to win it back, and you bet bigger. And the bigger you bet, the harder that house edge bites. The casino dug a hole and then handed you a bigger shovel and called it hope. So put the whole machine together. A tiny edge you can't feel, baked into every game. A building engineered to erase time and drown you in the sound of winning. Machines that hijack your own brain chemistry, and a set of mental glitches that turn you into your own worst enemy. The casino never has to cheat. It just builds a perfect trap out of mathematics and human nature, and then offers you a free drink to sit down. And here's the thought I'll leave you with, the one that actually matters. None of this is really about casinos. The house edge, the near miss, the chasing of losses, the feeling that you're due that exact machine is running on you in 100 other places. Lottery tickets, betting apps that buzz and flash in your pocket, loot boxes in games. Anywhere someone profits when you keep playing, this same quiet engine is turning. The casino is just the one place that stopped hiding it. Two brilliant physicists built a computer into their shoe and beat the wheel, and the house still won. That's not a story about roulette. It's the clearest proof you'll ever get of a simple rule. The only guaranteed way to win is to understand the game well enough to walk away from it. And now you do. If you like this, pulling back the curtain on the hidden machinery behind money, the stuff nobody bothers to explain, subscribe and go check out the other videos on the channel. There's a whole pile of them waiting, each one cracking open something you thought you understood. I'll see you in the next one.